like to thank our sponsors of the Coaches Show. Top Rock Constructions is a full-service dirtwork construction company offering bulldozer, trackhoe, skidster, and other equipment. We are proud supporters of the Bearcats. Also, would like to thank H1 Land Management. They offer forestry mulching, land management, septic installs, general dirtwork, as well as Baywash Car Wash and U-Locket Storage conveniently located at 205 North. They offer hot water and self-serve options. Also, U-Locket Storage serving your storage needs in 3 locations in Mena and Digwin.
Welcome back, everyone. We're back with another Coaches Show. I'm Jam, and I'm with Coach Bentley right now.
Hey, good to see you again. Glad to be here.
Thanks, Coach. Good to see you, too. So I'm just going to ask a few questions about last week's game and this week's game to you. So I'm just going to talk about first the penalties because it was kind of a challenge for us and the other team, too. So what do you think about it?
Yeah, after we got done playing D-Queen, we knew the penalties were something we needed to address. And honestly, going into last year, the penalties were something that we thought hindered us at times. And so that's what we spent a lot of our off-season focusing on. And that's been a little frustrating for all of us, coaches, kids, everybody involved of that, is that we put a lot of time and effort into limiting those penalties. Of course, penalties are going to happen, but limiting the penalties you can control when they happen and whatnot. And so we put a lot of time and effort in that in the off-season, and we did really, really well throughout that. And to not see that really transition so much in these first two games has been a little bit frustrating. Games are earlier, like they say, it's our first game, so we're a little sloppy. Referees are the same thing. I do feel like there were a few penalties that, were misguided in the calls, but there was definitely others that were very well warranted. So that's something that we as a coaching staff look at. We spent a majority of our time on Saturday when we worked as a coaching staff trying to figure out ways to address that and how to move forward, because definitely as we move forward and we want to, our goal is to be in that top half of conference, host a home playoff game. The better the teams you play, the more those penalties are going to hurt you. So that's something we're going to have to definitely keep focusing on and clean up as we go forward.
Thank you, Coach, for your comments. So the next question is, what do you think about our defensive success? Because we never let our opponents to score for the last two games.
Sure. So, yeah, it's been awesome. Coach Arnold, Chad Arnold, does a really good job prepping those guys every week, puts a lot of time and effort into it. You could probably look at our phone conversations and text messages. It goes long into the hours of all the weekend hours and nights trying to, he bounces ideas off of us and kind of gives me his game plan and what things he likes and doesn't like and whatnot. And so a lot of time and effort is put into him, and he holds those kids to a high accountability too. So he does a really, really good job with our defense, getting them prepared every week. And our defense is full of some veteran leadership and veteran players as well. So, 2 shutouts in a row it's pretty unheard of, really, no matter who you're playing. It's something we shut out D-Queen in the first game, shut out Hall this game. There's not even records that are close enough to look at to see when the last time that happened. So really, really proud of the defense. They've really stepped up and made plays when they needed to, and we hope to push that forward.
Again, thank you, Coach. So we talked about the defensive side first. So, and we're having high scoring games for back-to-back too. So what about the offensive side?
Yeah, offense has done well. Very pleased with them putting up a lot of yardage. We're led again by really our whole team, defense, offense. We're led by a lot of guys who've played a lot of Bearcat football over the last several years. And so Coach Dover, again, is our offensive coordinator. Again, just very lucky to have him as well to help lead in the offense. And same thing with that is as a head coach, I'm very heavily involved in the game plan of both sides of it. And that takes up a lot of time and effort, but it really was worth it and pays off when you have a performance like we had against Little Rock Hall. So, a lot of veteran leadership over there. We have a lot of playmakers. And when I say playmakers, I don't just mean, the skill players. I'm talking about on the offensive line. You can be a playmaker on the offensive line. And so really, really proud of what the offense has been able to string together. And, I think I talked about it last week. I think we have to be a combination of being able to control the football. And that's one reason, too. Friday night when we played, it kind of felt like it was going a little bit slow at the time, but we like to be able to control the clock, and the way we run our offense is kind of a chewing up the clock type of offense, which will limit your scoring output from time to time. We didn't really bust that big play early like we wanted to, and when we did, unfortunately, going back to your first question, the penalties hit. We've been calling Brody Mr. Callback because I think he's had 4 or 5 touchdowns called back this year. So, again, offense has done a really good job. I think it was going a little bit slow at the time, but we like to be able to control the clock, and the way we run our offense is kind of a chewing up the clock type of offense, which will limit your scoring output from time to time. We didn't really bust that big play early like we wanted to, and when we did, unfortunately, going back to your first question, the penalties hit. We've been calling Brody Mr. Callback because I think he's had 4 or 5 touchdowns called back this year. So, again, offense has done a really good job. I think our scheme's been really well, and our kids have done a great job executing it.
Yeah, it's fun to watch it fun us, at the both ends. So I'm just gonna talk about this week's game. So, Coach, back to 2 home games. How does crowd affect the team and y'all?
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. I mean it was an amazing sight to just look over and look behind you. And I try to tell them, before they run out of the tunnel or if they get a time of break in the game, to take a look at the home crowd because, that whole side back here is shoulder to shoulder. It's packed. There's people along the fences. They get loud. They get excited. And so we're very blessed to have the support to do because it's not like that everywhere. Our opponent last week didn't bring a great crowd, and it really doesn't matter. If we go somewhere, we take a Mena crowd with us into that visitor bleachers. So, yeah, very blessed to play at home. It's something that is special. I think we do have a home field advantage just based off our crowd size. It's intimidating when you walk out of that back gate and you see a packed out home side, and it's also exhilarating and exciting for you as a player and as a coach to look out and you see everybody here to support the Bearcats and be excited for a game.
Again, thank you, Coach. So I'm just gonna ask about what's gonna be the differences between the last game and this game.
Yeah. So I think, again, we've talked a lot about the penalties, so we have to be able to play a cleaner football game. I think this will be our best opponent that we've played up to this point, which I think we're ready for. So I think it's an opponent that can get us ready for our conference opponents as well too. So you can tell just from watching the film and the way they adjust in their game plans on both offense and defense that they're well coached. And for us, we have to continue to limit a big play defensively, which we've been able to do for the most part. But now, of course, as we have a better offensive unit coming in Friday night, that'll continue to be a challenge as well. And then, we need to protect the football a little bit better offensively and learn and finish drives, and we need to get on the board quicker. We did a good job controlling drives, controlling the offense, but being able to put points on the board sooner, I think it's, we were seeing some success early when we played Hall last week, but we weren't seeing the points come out of it, and so we need to get on the board a little bit quicker going before halftime this week.
Yeah, again, thank you, Coach. And lastly, I'm just going to talk about your expectations about this week's game.
Yeah, we expect it to be a great game. I think the 2 teams match up very evenly, style-wise. They do different things a little bit schematically on both sides. But for us, again, I think it'll be our best opponent we've played to this date. I think from what I can tell, I don't know a whole lot about Stigler and their school in the community, but the little bit I've researched, it looks like they're a football community as well. It looks like that they have a great following, so I expect the visitor stands to be packed. And of course, we talked about our home side being packed and excited. When the visitor side is packed and excited too, man, you just talk about that atmosphere, and it really brings it up in. So I expect a really good atmosphere with a great traveling crowd from Stigler and a really, really good football game, a physical football game, and 2 good teams going at it. And we're looking forward to it as well because we know it's our toughest challenge of the year. And then we're going into a bye week next week, so we don't play next week. So it's an important game for us to finish out one of our goals for non-conference has been to finish 3-0. We're almost there. All right, so we want to come out against Stigler, have a good showing leading into our conference season.
Again, thank you, Coach, for all the comments. And right now, we're done with another Coaches Show episode. So again, thanks to Coach Bentley for his comments, and we're gonna be back next week. Go Bearcats!
Go Bearcats! Thank you.
Again, we would like to thank our sponsors of today's show, Top Rock, H-Band Land Management, and Bay Wash Car Wash, You Look It Storage.